9:54 is the time. I think it is safe to say that President Biden is on the most consequential trip of his presidency. He's meeting with NATO in Brussels and Warsaw 4 weeks into Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, yesterday's big headline comment, I thought, from the president was saying you're going to see food shortages because of what is going on. Let's talk this over with writer and commentator who served as the managing editor of Ordinary Times since 2018. Ordinary Times is a website about politics, culture, and discourse, and that editor is Andrew Donaldson. Andrew, welcome to Iowa Radio. Good morning.
Hey, glad to be on Iowa Radio. Appreciate the time, sir.
Absolutely, Andrew. So I grabbed onto that food shortage comment yesterday. As you've been tracking this summit, what really struck you?
That one did me as well. I wish the president had been a little more articulate, though, because there's two parts to that. One is food shortage, like we're going to see here, where you might just see some disruption. But in other parts of the world, like Africa, like the Middle East, like Southeast Asia, who depends on wheat and grain from Ukraine and Russia, this is going to be a deadly famine-type situation. So I wish he'd been a little bit more articulate with it, but he's absolutely right. That kind of death and destruction is going to linger long after the bombs. It's not going to make TV like the conflict does. There's going to be a lot of human suffering coming out of this war that Putin has put upon the Ukrainian people, and a lot of people around the world that had nothing to do with it are going to suffer greatly for it.
That's absolutely right, Andrew. And do you think that there are some productive discussions going on amongst these NATO nations that we're getting ready for these kind of issues?
Well, the problem here, they do seem to all be mostly on the same page, which is good. We've had mostly a unified front. The problem here is we're learning things, like you were just talking about with the last case, energy infrastructure, things like this. We've known Vladimir Putin was a bad faith actor and was a huge player in the energy market, and we did nothing to prepare for it. So hopefully they're saying things. You've seen Germany's all of a sudden woke up. I lived in Germany 2 different times while I was active duty military. Germany's now all of a sudden upgrading their military and taking some responsibility, things like this. The thing is now is you can't do anything about this current crisis. What are we doing to prepare for the next one, whether it's a food crisis, whether it's an energy crisis, whether it's a shooting war, God forbid? We need to prepare for the next one and learn the lesson of we didn't prepare for this one, and we were not in an effective position to be in a place to help, and it caught a lot of people flat-footed. We need to be better prepared next time. We need better leadership. We need better policy.
Well, Andrew, that's such a great point, because I feel like on some issues like the development of energy infrastructure, this war has caused a major shift in policy. For the longest time, we all accepted, we're changing our energy policy. We're keeping an eye on the climate. I don't have an issue with talking about climate change and how to address it, but we're now, I think, dealing with the pragmatic realities of our policies, and it's caused our leaders to really reassess, hasn't it?
I hope it has. I think maybe the American people and the world people have got ahead of their leadership a little bit and pressured them into caring a little bit, because they're like, well, wait a minute, there's no reason we should be in this position. We make plenty of natural gas. The thing this morning where we're going to give them 15 billion credit units of liquefied natural gas, that's great, but that's 6% of the 40% of their natural gas in Europe that they get from Russia. It's just not enough. We should have been in a position to have more pipelines, better port facilities, especially on the East Coast, places like Savannah, places like the Carolinas, places like Florida. They could easily be up infrastructured with the pipeline capabilities. We should be in a position to take a lot of that burden off them. As it is, we can only give them about 6% of what they need. That speaks to the past leadership of past presidents, past Congresses, and past energy and policymakers.
Andrew Donaldson, he's managing editor of Ordinary Times, very thoughtful website about politics, culture, and discourse, and that's a sample for you. Andrew, thanks very much for talking to me this morning.